Commander Lisa Mercer stood at the viewport of the EDF Intrepid, Earth's most advanced starship. Her heart beat fast as the blue-green planet shrank behind them. This was humanity's big moment. After decades of deep space exploration, they had finally been invited to present themselves to the Galactic Council. "Commander, we're approaching the rendezvous point," said Lieutenant Paul Weber from the navigation console. Lisa nodded. "All stations report." "Weapons systems nominal," replied Security Chief Diane Foster. "Engines at peak efficiency," added Chief Engineer Greg Daniels. "Communications ready," confirmed Officer Kate Miller. Lisa took a deep breath. The Intrepid was Earth's crowning achievement, the result of 20 years of innovation and engineering breakthroughs. While not as large as some vessels in Earth's small fleet, it featured their most advanced propulsion system, capable of reaching 10% of light speed. The ship's hull gleamed with pride and polish for this historic meeting. "Contact on. Sensors," announced Officer Miller. It's huge." The crew gasped as the council ship came into view. It dwarfed the Intrepid by at least 50 times. The alien vessel seemed to shimmer, its hull made of a material that looked like liquid metal. "They're hailing us," said Officer Miller, her voice shaking slightly. "On screen," ordered Lisa, straightening her uniform. A blue-skinned alien appeared, on the main display. "Earth vessel, this is Guide Cyril of the Galactic Council. Follow our trajectory to Council Station Alpha." Lisa nodded respectfully. "This is Commander Lisa Mercer of the Earth Defense Force vessel Intrepid. We are honored by this invitation. We will follow your lead." The alien made no response before ending the transmission. "Friendly," muttered Chief Daniels. "They're advanced," Lisa replied. "Let's not judge their customs too quickly." The Intrepid followed the massive council ship through a region of distorted space. Suddenly, they emerged near a space station so vast it could have housed all of Earth's major cities. "My God," whispered Lieutenant Weber. "It's like a small moon." Lisa tried to hide her amazement. "Remember your training. We're representing all of humanity today." 4 other Earth ships arrived shortly after. The entire diplomatic fleet Earth had prepared for this historic meeting. Together, they approached the docking bays assigned to them. Admiral George Winters watched from the diplomatic shuttle as it departed the station's docking bay. The council chamber awaited, and his stomach churned with both excitement and dread. "Nervous, George?" asked Dr. Alan Murphy, the xenoarchaeologist who had joined the delegation. "Wouldn't you be?" Winters replied. "First official contact with the Galactic Council. Humanity's future could depend on how today goes." "You'll do fine," Murphy said, adjusting his glasses. "Just remember all those alien cultural briefings we suffered through." The shuttle docked at a special platform. When the doors opened, they entered a massive circular chamber. Hundreds of different alien species occupied raised seats around a central speaking area. Some looked almost human, while others defied description. Masses of tentacles, crystalline structures, or clouds of light contained in environmental suits. Tall, green-skinned alien with 4 arms approached them. "I am Attendant Jorvik. The Council awaits Earth's presentation. Please follow me." The Earth delegation was led to the center of the chamber. Admiral Winters stepped forward as rehearsed. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, I am Admiral George Winters of Earth. We come in peace and friendship, honored by your invitation to join this august body." A holographic display activated above them, showing the 5 Earth ships docked at the station. "These vessels represent our most advanced technology," Winters continued. "We hope they demonstrate our readiness to join the galactic community as—" A sharp, clicking laugh interrupted him. All eyes turned to a purple-skinned alien with a ridge of small spines down its head. "Counselor Zixtar, you wish to speak?" asked the Grand Minister, a tall, silver-skinned being at the highest point of the chamber. "Indeed," Zixtar replied, voice full of mockery. "Are we really considering these primitives for council membership? Look at their vessels. They're barely more than space debris." Murmurs spread through the chamber as the holographic display zoomed in on the Earth ships. "Your fastest vessel travels at what speed?" Zixtar asked Winters directly. "The Intrepid can reach 10% of light speed," Winters answered proudly. The chamber erupted in laughter. 10%, Zixtar exclaimed. My personal shuttle travels at 500 times that speed, and your weapons systems, chemical propellants, and nuclear warheads? My species abandoned such crude tools before we left our oceans. Admiral Winters felt his face grow hot. With respect, Counselor, Earth has made remarkable progress in a short time. Just 2 centuries ago, 2 centuries to reach space? Another council member called out. Most species achieve that in less than 1. Winters stood his ground. Every civilization develops at its own pace. We're eager to learn from the council. Zixtar waved a dismissive hand. These humans would be a burden, not an asset. At best, they should be classified as a protectorate species, not full members. The Grand Minister raised a hand for silence. Admiral Winters, while we appreciate Earth's ambitions, Counselor Zixtar raises valid concerns. Your technology is underdeveloped by council standards. Dr. Murphy stepped forward. If I may, Grand Minister, technological advancement isn't the only measure of a species' worth. Earth has rich cultural achievements and philosophical traditions that could contribute greatly to the council. A few council members nodded in agreement, but Zixtar wasn't finished. Cultural achievements won't defend your planets or contribute to council infrastructure, he said. Look at these pathetic vessels. The materials are primitive. The designs are inefficient. They pollute space with radiation. They're an embarrassment. The chamber's mood had shifted. What was meant to be a proud moment for humanity had become humiliating. The Grand Minister spoke again. The Council has deliberated. Earth will be granted protectorate status, with review for potential membership in 200 standard cycles. Later, in the private quarters assigned to the Earth delegation, Admiral Winters paced angrily. Protectorate status. We're glorified children to them, he fumed. It could be worse, Commander Mercer offered. At least they're willing to trade. Some technologies. Basic technologies, Winters corrected. Nothing that would help us advance quickly. Dr. Murphy sat quietly reviewing data on his tablet. Something's not adding up, he said finally. What do you mean? Asked Winters. The council's reaction seemed rehearsed, like they were expecting us. Murphy looked up. And I've been studying those ancient underwater ruins in the Pacific. There are symbols there that match writing I saw in the council chamber. Winters' communicator beeped urgently. Winters here. Admiral, this is Earth Defense Command. We've detected an unidentified vessel testing our solar system's outer defense grid. It retreated when challenged, but its technology matches what our sensors recorded from the council ships. Winters looked at Mercer and Murphy. It seems our new galactic neighbors are already probing our weaknesses. Dr. Murphy held up his tablet. Sir, I think you should see this. I finally translated part of the inscription from the underwater ruins. It mentions a sleeping fleet and humanity's forgotten power. What are you suggesting? Winters asked. I'm not sure yet, Murphy replied. But I think Earth might have secrets even we don't know about. Secrets that might explain why the council seemed so eager to keep us in our place. Winters looked out the viewport at the vast council station. Then we better start digging, Doctor, because I won't accept Earth being treated as a cosmic joke. Outside, the 5 small Earth ships sat dwarfed by the massive alien vessels surrounding them, looking indeed pathetic by comparison. But if Dr. Murphy was right, humanity's true power might be hiding somewhere much closer to home. 3 months after Earth's humiliating introduction to the Galactic Council, Captain Frank Doyle stood on the bridge of the EDF Defender, watching the stars through the main viewport. His ship patrolled the edge of the Epsilon Eridani colony, Earth's furthest outpost. The colony was home to just over 10,000 people, miners and scientists mostly, studying the resource-rich asteroids in the system. Captain, sensors are picking up something strange, said Lieutenant Samantha Reeves, the sensor operator. Her fingers moved quickly over the console. It's similar to the readings we were told to watch for. Frank moved to her station immediately. Show me. The screen displayed an anomalous energy signature exactly matching the profile of council ships. But this wasn't a scheduled council visit. Yellow alert. Contact Earth Command, Frank ordered, and get me a visual. The main screen shifted to show a sleek, predatory-looking vessel. Unlike the elegant council ships they had seen in briefings, this one bristled with what were clearly weapons. Its hull was dark red, almost black. "Sir," communications officer Ben Walsh called out, "they're broadcasting a message, audio only." "Let's hear it," Frank said, his hand instinctively moving to rest on his sidearm. A harsh voice filled the bridge. "Attention, human outpost. This is Commander Krav of the Taraxian Empire. Your presence in this system is now noted. Your defenses have been scanned. Your technology is primitive. Remember the name Taraxian. You will hear it again soon." The transmission cut off abruptly. "Sir, they're leaving the system." "At incredible speed," Lieutenant Reeves reported, her voice betraying her awe. "They just disappeared." Frank's jaw tightened. "Send everything we recorded to Earth Command Priority 1 and double the patrol schedule. I want to know immediately if they come back." In the Galactic Council headquarters, diplomat Kara Rodriguez walked quickly down a wide corridor, ignoring the stares from other species. After 3 months as Earth's ambassador, she had grown used to the looks. Some were curious, some dismissive, some openly hostile. She entered the Council's Minor Species Committee room where she had been summoned. Inside, 7 council members sat at a raised table, looking down at the small podium where she stood. "Ambassador Rodriguez," began Councilor Zixitar, the same purple-skinned alien who had mocked Earth's ships. "We have received reports of an unauthorized Earth military vessel in the Proxima Centauri system. Explain this violation of your protectorate status." Kara maintained a neutral expression. "There must be some mistake, Counselor. Earth has no military presence in Proxima Centauri." "Our sensors do not make mistakes," snapped another counselor, a being with crystalline skin that refracted light as it moved. "Perhaps," came a gentle voice from the far end of the table, "the humans truly don't know." All eyes turned to Counselor Drelvak, an elderly alien with pale blue skin and 4 eyes. Unlike the others, he had always treated Kara with respect. "What do you mean?" Zixtar demanded. "The ship identified was not of current Earth design," Drelvak explained. "It was a different energy signature, yet had similarities to human patterns." Most curious, Kara seized the opportunity. "Counselor Drelvak, we would appreciate any data you could share about this vessel. If someone is impersonating Earth ships, we need to know." "Absurd," Zixtar interrupted. "More likely your primitive sensors failed to report properly to your command." "Actually," Kara replied coolly, "I should inform the Council that we have had an encounter with a species calling themselves the Taraxian Empire. They scanned our Epsilon Eridani colony yesterday." The room fell silent. Even Zixtar seemed startled. "The Taraxians approached you directly?" Drelvak asked, his 4 eyes blinking rapidly. "Yes." "Should we be concerned?" Kara asked. The counselors exchanged glances. Finally, Zixtar spoke, his tone surprisingly serious. "The Taraxian Empire is aggressive. They are not council members. They believe in conquest rather than cooperation. They've taken 3 outer systems from council protectorates in the past cycle," added Drelvak. "The council has been in negotiations with them." Kara understood the diplomatic language. The mighty Galactic Council was afraid of these Taraxians. "If they're targeting Earth systems, we request council assistance," Kara said firmly. Zixtar let out a short laugh. "Your protectorate status does not guarantee military aid. Your species must demonstrate self-sufficiency." "How convenient," Kara replied, unable to hide her bitterness. "Too primitive to be members, too unimportant to be protected." She left the chamber, anger building with each step. In a quiet alcove, she activated her secure communicator. "Rodriguez to Earth Command. We have a situation." Dr. Alan Murphy wiped sweat from his brow as he carefully brushed dirt from the ancient stone tablet. The Pacific underwater ruins had yielded more artifacts than expected, and he had expanded his team to excavate a newly discovered chamber. "Dr. Murphy," called Dr. Sophia Wright, rushing into the tent with a tablet computer. "Look at these scans from the northern chamber." Murphy studied the images, his excitement growing. The symbols matched those he had seen in the council chambers, but here they were accompanied by diagrams. The images showed what looked like ships, massive vessels with design elements that somehow seemed both alien and familiar. Cross-reference. These with the symbols we found last week, he said urgently. Dr. Wright pulled up both images side by side. It's a coordinate system, she realized. These aren't just historical records, they're directions. Murphy's communicator beeped. Murphy, here. Doctor, this is Admiral Winters. I need you in Washington immediately. Your security clearance has been upgraded. There's something you need to see. Vice Admiral Patricia Wood led Admiral Winters and Dr. Murphy through the lowest level of Earth Defense Headquarters. They passed through 7 security checkpoints before reaching a sealed room labeled Project Heritage. What is this place? Murphy asked. Something few people know about, Admiral Winters replied. A special research division studying artifacts similar to those you found but discovered decades ago. Inside the room, screens displayed star charts, ancient symbols, and ship designs. Scientists worked at various stations, analyzing data. For 50 years, Vice Admiral Wood explained, we've been piecing together fragments of what appears to be humanity's forgotten history. Your recent discoveries were the missing pieces we needed. She brought up a holographic display showing the solar system. With a gesture, she zoomed in on a small object orbiting far beyond Pluto. This is Charon, Pluto's largest moon, she said, but our latest deep scans show something strange. Part of it appears to be artificial. Murphy stared at the scan results. These readings, they match the composition described in the tablets. Admiral Winters placed a hand on Murphy's shoulder. Doctor, we're assembling a team to go there and I want you on it. Admiral, interrupted a communications officer bursting into the room. Urgent message from Captain Doyle at Epsilon Eridani. The colony is under attack. 3 Taraxian warships just entered the system. The room fell silent. Then Winters straightened his uniform. Send the Intrepid and the Reliant to assist. Tell Commander Mercer she has full authority to engage. Sir, the officer hesitated. Against Council technology? Our ships won't stand a chance. Maybe not, Winters said grimly. But we don't abandon our people. And we need time. He turned back to Murphy. Your expedition leaves in 48 hours. If there's anything at Charon that can help us, we need it now. The Taraxians aren't just testing our defenses anymore. This is the beginning of war. On a screen behind them, tactical displays showed the Epsilon Eridani colony. 3 large red dots approached the small blue dot representing the outpost. Captain, Doyle's lone ship moved to intercept, looking impossibly small against the enemy force. Earth was about to face its first interstellar battle, armed with ships the Galactic Council had laughed at just 3 months earlier. The expedition ship Curiosity approached Pluto's largest moon with caution. Dr. Alan Murphy pressed his face to the viewport, watching as the distant icy body grew larger. After nearly 2 weeks of travel, they had finally reached Charon. Around him, the joint scientific military crew worked quietly at their stations. Beginning detailed scan of the target area, announced Lieutenant Eric Jackson from the pilot's seat. The young officer was the best pilot Earth had to offer, handpicked, for this mission. Major Susan Carter stood beside Murphy, her face serious. As leader of the military side of the expedition, she carried the weight of Earth's desperate situation on her shoulders. How confident are you about these coordinates, Doctor? Murphy checked his tablet. The ancient texts were very specific. If there's anything to find, it will be at the southern pole buried under the ice. Dr. William Preston, the expedition's propulsion expert, joined them at the viewport. I still find it hard to believe ancient humans had technology beyond what we have now. It goes against everything we know about human history. History is written by those who remain, Murphy replied. What if something happened that was so devastating we lost everything, had to start over? Their conversation was interrupted by a gasp from one of the sensor operators. Major Carter, Dr. Murphy, you need to see this. The main screen displayed a false color scan of Charon's southern pole. Beneath several kilometers of ice was a perfectly symmetrical structure. Not natural. Built. "My God," whispered Dr. Preston. "It's artificial." Major Carter immediately took charge. "Lieutenant Jackson, put us in stable orbit above that location. Engineering team, prepare the plasma drills. We need to get down there." 8 hours later, the expedition team stood in their thermal suits inside a massive cave they had drilled through the ice. Their lights illuminated walls made of a smooth, dark material, unlike anything they had seen before. The walls were covered in the same symbols Murphy had found in the underwater ruins on Earth. "These markings are identical to those in the Pacific site," Murphy said, running his gloved hand over the surface. "But they're perfectly preserved here. No erosion." Chief Engineer Olivia Grant pointed her scanner at the wall. "This material isn't registering as any element we know, and it's maintaining a temperature much warmer than it should be in this environment." Major Carter approached what appeared to be a sealed doorway at the end of the cave. "Any ideas how to open this?" Murphy studied the symbols around the doorframe. "These look like instructions. Give me a moment." He traced the patterns with his fingers, comparing them to his notes. Then he pressed a specific sequence of symbols. Nothing happened. "Maybe it needs more than just the code," Dr. Preston suggested. "These ancient systems might have had biological security measures." Murphy nodded and removed his glove. The air was cold but breathable. He placed his bare palm against a panel beside the door. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the entire corridor lit up with a soft blue glow. The symbols on the walls began to pulse with light. The door slid open silently. "How did you know that would work?" Major Carter asked. "I didn't," Murphy admitted. "But the texts mentioned the touch of the makers. I took a chance that it meant human DNA." They stepped through the doorway and found themselves on a platform overlooking an enormous cavern. As far as their lights could reach, they saw shapes in the darkness, large shapes. "Turn on the main floodlights," ordered Major Carter. When the powerful lights activated, the team fell silent in awe. Below them, arranged in perfect formation, sat dozens of ships. Massive vessels, each at least 5 times larger than Earth's biggest spacecraft. Their design was sleek yet powerful, with lines that suggested both speed and strength. Despite the passing of what must have been thousands of years, they looked ready to launch. "The ancient fleet," Murphy whispered. "It's real." Meanwhile, in the Epsilon Eridani system, Commander Lisa Mercer's Intrepid shuddered as another hit from a Taraxian weapon struck its shields. "Shields at 28%, shouted Security Chief Foster. "We can't take much more of this." The battle had been raging for hours. Captain Doyle's Defender was already gone, sacrificing itself to help evacuate civilians from the mining outpost. The Reliant was heavily damaged, limping behind the Intrepid as they tried to protect the civilian transport ships. "Evasive pattern, Delta," Mercer ordered, her voice steady despite the chaos. "Focus all remaining power on the aft shields. We need to buy the transports more time." On the tactical display, 3 red dots representing the Taraxian warships pursued them relentlessly. Every time the Earth ships tried a new tactic, the Taraxians countered it easily. Their technology was simply too advanced. "Commander," called Officer Miller from Communications, "we're receiving a transmission from the lead Taraxian ship." "On screen," Mercer said, wiping blood from a cut on her forehead. The face that appeared was humanoid but with gray skin and ridge-like features. "Human vessel," the Taraxian commander spoke with obvious disdain. "Your resistance is futile and illogical. Surrender now and we will allow your crew to live as laborers." Mercer stood tall despite the bridge shaking around her. "This is Commander Mercer of Earth. We don't surrender to bullies no matter how big their ships are." The Taraxian laughed. "Admirable but stupid. Your Galactic Council friends have abandoned you. They watch from a safe distance." He gestured, and the view changed to show a Council observation vessel hovering at the edge of the system. "They take notes on your extinction. 15 minutes, human, then we board what's left of your vessel." The screen went dark. "Is he telling the truth?" asked Chief Engineer Daniels. "Is the Council just watching us die?" Mercer had no answer. Back at Charon, The expedition team had made their way to what appeared to be the command center of the facility. Banks of controls covered in the ancient symbols surrounded a central platform. Dr. Murphy, any idea how to activate these systems? Major Carter asked. Before Murphy could answer, Dr. Preston called from across the room. I think I found something. This looks like a power initialization sequence. As Preston worked, Chief Engineer Grant plugged her tablet into what seemed to be an access port. I'm getting data. It's converting to our system somehow. Suddenly, the entire chamber hummed to life. Displays activated, showing status reports. In the ancient language, it's working, Murphy exclaimed. The facility is powering up. In the center of the platform, a holographic display appeared showing the solar system. A red dot pulsed at the location of the Epsilon Eridani colony. It's detecting the battle, Major Carter realized. These systems are still linked to some kind of network. Dr. Preston stared at readings on his tablet. The energy levels I'm seeing, they're off the charts. Whatever power source these ships use, it's like nothing we've ever developed. Murphy stepped onto the central platform and the holographic display changed. It showed a single ship, the largest in the fleet below them. Text appeared beside it in the ancient language. What does it say? Major Carter asked. Murphy translated, slowly. Flagship, Phoenix, ready for reactivation. The chamber shuddered as far below them, machinery that had been dormant for millennia began to move. In the giant hangar, lights appeared on the largest vessel. We need to contact Earth Command, Major Carter said urgently. Tell them what we've found. Already trying, replied one of the communications officers. But there's some kind of interference. Wait, I'm getting a message from Earth, Priority Alpha. The team gathered around as the message played. Admiral Winters' face appeared, looking grim. Expedition team, if you're receiving this, the situation has deteriorated. Taraxian forces have attacked 3 Earth colonies. Our ships are outmatched. Whatever you found, we need it now. Earth itself may be the next target. Winters out. The team looked at each other, the weight of responsibility heavy on their shoulders. We need to figure out how to fly one of these ships, Major Carter said finally. And fast. The command center beneath Karen's icy surface hummed with activity. The expedition team worked frantically to understand the ancient systems as they came online. Dr. Maria Vega, the expedition's cryptographer, had joined Dr. Murphy at the main console, her fingers flying over her tablet as she translated the flowing symbols. I'm beginning to understand the operating language, she said, excitement in her voice. It's actually a form of Proto-Indo-European with mathematical elements, like our language, but evolved differently. Major Carter looked over a holographic display showing the fleet of ships below. How long until we can get one of these vessels operational? Chief Engineer Grant looked up from her station. The systems are running automated revival protocols. The lead ship, Phoenix, is already at 60% power. But we need a crew and none of us knows how to fly these things. Maybe we don't need to know, Dr. Preston said, studying energy readings from the ships. Look at these neural interface systems. I think these ships were designed to connect directly with their pilots. Murphy moved to another console as it lit up. This appears to be a communication system. It's picking up transmissions from all over the galaxy, including Earth defense frequencies. Get me a channel to Admiral Winters, ordered Major Carter. The ancient technology responded instantly. Admiral Winters' face appeared on the main display, looking tired but alert. His eyes widened when he saw the team in the ancient command center behind them. Carter, Murphy, what have you found? Sir, you wouldn't believe it if we told you, Major Carter replied. We've discovered the fleet, dozens of ships, far more advanced than anything we've seen. One is almost ready to launch. Hope flickered across Winters' face. How soon? Hours, maybe less, Chief Engineer Grant called from her station. But we need a crew, someone who can actually fly it. Winters nodded grimly. I'm sending Admiral John Russell to you immediately. He's our best tactician and was a test pilot before his promotion. He can be there in 6 hours with a skeleton crew. Sir? Major Carter said hesitantly. What's the situation back home? Winters' expression darkened. The Taraxians destroyed our outpost at Epsilon Eridani. Commander Mercer and the Intrepid managed to save most of the civilian transports, but we lost the Defender and the Reliant. Now they're moving on Mars. Colonel Nicole Bennett and the Colonial Defense Force are preparing for ground assault, but without space support they won't last long. The Council? Dr. Murphy asked. Watching. Just watching. Winters spat the words. Ambassador Rodriguez says they're documenting our conflict as a case study in protectorate development. Counselor Zixtar himself is leading an observation fleet. A new alert sounded from one of the consoles. Dr. Vega rushed to it. The Phoenix is ready. The ship's systems are fully online. Send us the coordinates, Winters said urgently. Russell will be there as fast as possible. In the meantime, learn everything you can about these ships. The transmission ended, and Major Carter turned to her team. You heard the Admiral. We've got 6 hours to unlock the secrets of a civilization we didn't even know existed until now. On Mars, Colonel Nicole Bennett crouched behind a barricade, dust coating her combat armor. Nearby, her troops positioned defensive weapons around the main colony dome. Through her helmet visor, she could see the Taraxian dropships entering the atmosphere, fiery streaks against the red sky. All units prepare for contact, she ordered through her comm link. Remember your training, these aliens may have better tech, but we're fighting for our homes. Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Chris Alvarez, slid into position beside her. Colonel, civilian evacuation is at 80%. The inner tunnels are secure. Bennett nodded. Good. We need to buy them more time. She looked up as more Taraxian ships appeared. A lot more time. Admiral John Russell's shuttle pushed its engines to their limits as it raced toward Pluto. Behind him, 20 volunteers, pilots, engineers, and weapons specialists, sat in grim silence. They had all seen the footage from Epsilon Eridani, watched Earth ships being torn apart by Taraxian weapons. Admiral, his pilot called, we're approaching Karen. The expedition team has sent docking instructions. Russell moved to the front viewport. As they circled to Charon's dark side, a section of the moon's surface slid open, revealing a massive hangar entrance glowing with blue light. My God, he whispered as they flew inside. The hangar was enormous, extending deep into Charon's core, and there, arranged in formation, sat the ancient fleet. The shuttle seemed tiny as it approached the largest ship. The Phoenix dwarfed even the Taraxian warships Russell had seen in the battle reports. Its hull was a deep, burnished silver, with lines that seemed to pulse with inner light. Despite its obvious age, it looked more advanced than anything humanity had built. After landing in a smaller bay within the Phoenix, Russell and his team were met by Major Carter and Dr. Murphy. Welcome aboard humanity's past, Admiral, Murphy said with a slight smile, and possibly our future. Russell wasted no time. Brief me as we walk. What are we dealing with here? As they moved through corridors that lit up as they passed, Major Carter explained their discoveries. The ships appear to be approximately 15,000 years old, but the preservation systems are beyond anything we've seen. Dr. Preston thinks the metal in the hull is self-repairing. They entered what was clearly a bridge, a large circular room with command stations and a central chair elevated above the others. We've determined this is the captain's position, Dr. Murphy explained, gesturing to the chair. It interfaces directly with the ship's systems through neural links. Russell approached the chair cautiously. So I just sit in it? According to the texts we've translated, it will recognize you as human and establish a connection, Dr. Vega explained. It may be intense. Russell looked around at the anxious faces watching him. Beyond these walls, Earth forces were dying. No time like the present, he said, and sat down. The moment he touched the chair, panels lit up around the bridge. A blue light washed over Russell, scanning him. Then, metal bands extended from the chair, wrapping around his wrists and temples. Russell gasped as information flooded his mind. Ship schematics, weapon systems, engine capabilities. The Phoenix was awakening and it was showing him its secrets. Admiral? Major Carter asked worriedly. Russell's eyes snapped open, now glowing with the same blue light as the ship's systems. "I understand now," he said, his voice filled with wonder. "This ship, it's incredible. The weapons alone could destroy a small moon. And the engines, they don't move through space. They fold it." "Can you fly it?" Dr. Preston asked. Russell nodded slowly. "The ship is teaching me. It wants to fly. It's been waiting for a very long time." He turned to the crew Russell had brought with him. "Take your stations. The ship will guide you." As his crew moved to various positions around the bridge, Russell accessed the Phoenix's communication systems with a thought. "This is Admiral Russell to Earth Command. The Phoenix is operational. We're launching." Admiral Winter's voice came through clearly. "Not a moment too soon. The Taraxians have broken through Mars orbit. Colonel Bennett is engaged in ground combat, and the colony shields are failing. And Russell, Counselor Zixtar's observation fleet has just arrived in Earth orbit to document what they expect to be our defeat." Russell's jaw tightened. "Understood. Setting course for Mars. Tell Colonel Bennett help is on the way." He paused and informed the Council observers they're about to witness something historic. Throughout the Phoenix, ancient machinery hummed with power. In the hangar, massive doors opened for the first time in 15,000 years. The Phoenix rose slowly at first, its hull gleaming as ice and dust fell away. Then, with a surge of energy that lit up Karen's dark side, it shot forward into space, leaving a blue trail in its wake. The ancient fleet's flagship was flying once more, with humanity's fate resting on its rediscovered power. On Mars, Colonel Nicole Bennett fired her rifle at another Taraxian soldier trying to breach the colony's inner perimeter. The battle had raged for hours. Her forces were exhausted, their ammunition running low. The colony dome behind them had already taken damage, emergency force fields barely holding the atmosphere in. "Colonel," Lieutenant Alvarez called over the comm system, "Eastern sector is falling. We can't hold them much longer." Bennett wiped blood from her visor. "All units, fall back to the secondary defensive line. Protect the civilian bunkers at all costs." The Martian sky above them was filled with Taraxian ships, their weapons pounding the colony's shields. The few Earth defense platforms had been destroyed in the first wave. There was no help coming. All surviving Earth ships were defending the home planet. Bennett looked up as a particularly large Taraxian cruiser moved into position directly above the colony. Its main weapon began to glow with building energy. "Everyone, inside now!" she shouted, recognizing the pattern from the tactical briefings. That was a colony killer weapon. Her soldiers scrambled toward the airlock doors. Bennett was the last one, still firing to cover their retreat, when her comm unit crackled with an unfamiliar voice. "Colonel Bennett, this is Admiral Russell aboard the Phoenix. Stay down." Bennett looked up in confusion. There was no Phoenix in Earth's fleet. Then she saw it, a massive ship unlike anything she had ever seen, appearing suddenly above Mars. It was at least 5 times larger than the Taraxian cruiser, and seemed to glow with internal light. Its hull was a burnished silver with blue energy flowing through patterns on its surface. Before any of the Taraxian ships could react, the Phoenix fired. Not the crude missiles or laser weapons of Earth's fleet, but beams of concentrated energy that sliced through 3 Taraxian warships as if they were paper. The ships didn't explode. They simply fell apart, cut with surgical precision. The large Taraxian cruiser tried to turn its colony killer weapon toward this new threat. The Phoenix responded with a pulse of blue energy that engulfed the enemy ship. When the light faded, the cruiser was simply gone, not even debris remaining. "What in the name of?" Bennett whispered. The remaining Taraxian ships began to retreat, breaking orbit in a disorganized panic. The Phoenix pursued, its weapons firing with perfect accuracy, disabling engines and weapon systems without completely destroying the vessels. "Colonel Bennett," came Admiral Russell's voice again, "the orbital threat has been neutralized. We'll handle any remaining ground forces." Beams of light shot down from the Phoenix, targeting the Taraxian ground troops with the same precision. Not killing them, Bennett realized with surprise, but immobilizing them inside spheres of energy. "Who are you?" she finally managed to ask. "What is that ship?" "It's one of ours, Colonel," Russell replied, a smile evident in his voice. "Just a bit older than we thought. The cavalry has arrived." In Earth orbit, Counselor Zixtar stood on the observation deck of his diplomatic vessel, watching with undisguised amusement as Earth's primitive fleet struggled to organize a defense against the approaching Taraxian warships. Beside him, several other council members and a data recording team documented the conflict. "Note the inefficient formation of the human vessels," Zixtar dictated. "Their reactor signatures show dangerous instability under stress. This will be an excellent case study in the consequences of premature expansion by pre-FTL species." Councillor Thran Lux, head of the Council's military committee, nodded in agreement. "The Taraxians will make short work of them. A shame, really. The humans showed some potential, just not enough to matter." Ambassador Cara Rodriguez had been forced to stand silently at the back of the observation deck, watching her planet's defenders prepare to die. The Council had insisted she witness this educational moment. "Incoming transmission from Earth Command," announced one of the Council technicians. Admiral Winter's face appeared on the main screen. Despite the dire situation, he looked almost pleased. "Councillor Zixtar, I wanted to personally invite you to witness history today. Keep your recording devices active." Zixtar laughed. "We are already documenting your species' last stand, Admiral. Though I appreciate the courtesy." "Oh, it's not our last stand," Winters replied. "It's our return. Phoenix Actual, you are clear to proceed." The screen changed to show the Mars battlefield. The Council members gasped as they saw the Phoenix, decimating the Taraxian fleet. "What? What is that vessel?" Thranlux demanded. "That's not Earth technology." "Actually," Winters replied as his face reappeared, "it is Earth technology, just not recent Earth technology." Before Zixtar could respond, space itself seemed to fold in front of his ship. The Phoenix appeared, moving faster than should have been possible. Behind it came two more vessels of similar design, each larger than anything in the Council defense fleet. "Admiral Russell, Captain Blackwood," Winter's voice continued, "please escort our Council friends to a safe observation position. The Taraxians will be arriving in Earth orbit any moment now." As if on cue, a fleet of Taraxian warships emerged from faster-than-light travel. At their center was an enormous dreadnought bristling with weapons. "High Emperor Vexcor," Winters addressed the Taraxian fleet. "This is Earth Defense Command. You are ordered to withdraw from Earth space immediately or face the consequences." The Taraxian leader's face appeared on the communications screen. His gray-ridged features showed only contempt. "Earth insects," Vexcor snarled. "Your colony was merely an appetizer. Your homeworld will be our feast." "I was hoping you'd say that," Winters replied. "Admiral Russell, you have permission to engage." What followed was unlike any battle the Council members had ever witnessed. The Phoenix and its two sister ships moved with impossible speed and precision, their weapons cutting through Taraxian shields that had previously been considered impenetrable. The ancient Earth vessels did not rely on brute force. They seemed to predict enemy movements, countering tactics before they developed. On the Council observation vessel, Zixtar watched in stunned silence as the supposedly primitive humans systematically dismantled what had been considered one of the most fearsome military forces in the galaxy. "Counselor," one of his aides whispered, "the human ships, their design matches fragments found in ancient ruins on several Council worlds. The writing matches what we classified as creator script." Zixtar felt a cold dread wash over him as the implications became clear. The Taraxian dreadnought attempted to flee, but the Phoenix caught it in some kind of energy field that held it immobile. The battle was over in less than 20 minutes. "Now then," Admiral Winters said as his face reappeared on the screen. "Counselor Zixtar, I believe we need to discuss Earth's status in the Galactic Council." In the aftermath, Earth's diplomatic chambers were filled with Council representatives, but this time, they stood while humans sat at the main table. Admiral Winters headed the Earth delegation, with Commander Mercer, Dr. Murphy, and Ambassador Rodriguez at his side. Councillor Ayla Ven, one of the oldest members of the Council, stepped forward. Unlike the others, she showed no shock or fear, only resignation. We always knew this day might come, she said softly, when the Makers would return. The Makers? Ambassador Rodriguez asked. Eleven gestured to the holographic display showing the ancient fleet now orbiting Earth. Your ancestors, the ones who seeded the stars with life, who taught our ancestors to reach beyond their worlds, the ones who disappeared in the Great Cataclysm 15,000 years ago. Dr. Murphy opened his tablet. We've deciphered more of the records from the Karen base. They tell of a civil war among ancient humans, a war so destructive that the winning faction chose to erase all technology and start again on Earth, leaving only hidden legacies to be found when humanity was ready. And now you have returned, Eleven said. The cycle continues. Admiral Winters stood. We're not interested in empire or vengeance for past slights. Earth wants what it always wanted, to join the galactic community as equals, to learn and share knowledge. He looked directly at a subdued Zixtar. Though we will be reviewing the protectorate status of several species the Council has been neglecting. As the meeting continued, Commander Mercer stepped outside onto a balcony overlooking the Washington skyline. Above, visible even in daylight, the ancient ships watched over the planet their creators had once abandoned and now called home again. Humanity had rejoined the stars not as newcomers, but as returning elders, and the galaxy would never be the same.